Hi, welcome to Your Secrets to Success tutorial number 1. And welcome to my office. I am thrilled that you are here because this tutorial has the potential to dramatically improve your life. Those who have attended my in-person workshops have reported some quick and dramatic results. Things like marriages going better. Things like a family conflict blows up and it gets almost instantly resolved through the use of these skills. A board meeting being salvaged. Friends feeling like finally somebody is listening to me. These are dramatic changes, and you also can go out and start producing these kinds of changes. If you want to get more influence into your life, either at work or in your personal life, if you just want to get more love into your life, if you want to prevent or reduce or eliminate conflict, maybe you'd like to just build up your personal self-confidence. If you maybe just want less stress and frustration at work, maybe you want to build up the teamwork that's happening or fix what's not happening at work. If I'm in front of a business audience, I make sure that I mention that this skill is undoubtedly tied to employee engagement. And the research from Gallup and other research companies is indisputable. The powerful impact of raising employee engagement. You can dramatically improve all the business metrics, whether you're talking sales, quality, customer loyalty, absenteeism, turnover, revenue, profit, safety records. It is stunning. Further, in the medical field, if you want to reduce liability, the relationship that you have with those patients is an excellent way to do that. And last example, maybe you want to be able to help other people, whether it's through coaching or mentoring or some kind of ministry, perhaps. This skill that we're covering today is your number one skill for that kind of influence. The reason this is going to be helpful to you is because what we're covering today is what Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, called the single most important principle in the field of interpersonal relations. It amounts to making people feel heard and understood before we try to influence them. What you're going to learn today and what is so important is what you actually say back. So the word listening is kind of a misnomer. I want you to realize that in order to be successful, this is also a matter of the heart because people can sense what's really going on. I like to call the way in which we need to respond to people the Stradivarius response. And that is named after a story regarding Gary Smalley, the speaker and author, who was speaking before a live audience. And he was passing this old broken violin around the audience. And after the violin had gotten about halfway through the audience, he revealed that it was a Stradivarius. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar, Stradivarius violins were made in the late 1600s, early 1700s, and they're widely regarded as the best violins ever made. And those that are in playable condition could easily be worth millions of dollars. So when the audience heard that this was a Stradivarius, they went, "Oh!" And they all started handling it more carefully. And he said, "See, that's the kind of attitude you want to have toward other people." What you're going to do, and again, aided with this patience that comes from having your heart in the right place, you're going to take time, and if you have to, even think of it as time out. I'm going to put my agenda on the back burner for a little bit. And I'm going to, if you have to think of it this way, I'm going to go into suspended animation for a moment. That might help your patience. And you're going to take time to get inside the other person's frame of reference. You're going to take time to see the world as they see it. Feel how they feel it. You are not necessarily agreeing. You are not condoning. You are simply understanding. And that kind of response toward other people is powerful. But let's dig a little deeper. Why is this so powerful? Well, I think Covey had at least one good answer. He said it was because the deepest need of the human soul is to be understood. Now, I don't know if it's the absolute deepest, but I know that all the experts would agree it's certainly extremely important. Before we get to the nuts and bolts of how to do this, let's just start preparing ourselves for moving past a few of our little obstacles, some of the traits that we have that we need to conquer. One that we need to conquer is this tendency that we have to not listen to understand, but listen with the intent to reply. We're constantly either speaking or preparing to speak. We have to conquer that one. Secondly, we have to be ready for some difficult situations. Now, this skill can be used in all kinds of situations, even social chit-chat. It can make you a great conversationalist. But I often do talk about the difficult situations because my theory is if you're prepared for even the worst situations, then you'll be able to handle the easy ones, no problem. So I want to mention a few of those difficult situations just so we can start gearing up for them. This skill that you're about to learn is difficult when we get in a hurry, right? We all know that. We also need to be prepared for any time we are going to be facing difficult people, those so-called difficult people. Also, this can be very difficult when a jugular issue arises. I love that phrase because it's based on the phrase, go for the jugular. And so I just love that phrase, jugular issues. And then one final difficult situation I just want to mention so we can start getting prepared. For me, this is a tough one. Anytime I face dishonesty or manipulation, that one is a tough one for me. So I mentioned these difficult situations so that you can start thinking about, I am going to develop this skill so that even in those difficult situations, I'm going to come through this with flying colors and be really proud of the way I handled it when the conversation is all done. So now that we've kind of gotten all of that preparation out of the way, we are ready to get down to it and proceed. So I will meet you in Module 1 so we can get to work. Here we go.